Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar, and thanks so much for joining us as we uncover the top 10 tips for great client intake. I'm so excited to be joined by Jordan Ostroff as our speaker today as we go through these tips, and I think will be a game changer for your firm. I see a lot of familiar names joining us right now and new people that I'm excited to meet, and we're just so glad that you're all here. So let's get started here. I'm Nina Lee, Senior Marketing Manager here at PracticePanther. And for years now, PracticePanther has enabled law firms to automate their practices and help people get more done in less time. We're an all-in-one solution, seamless and intuitive, and we help tens of thousands of legal professionals manage their complex and fast-moving cases without delays. You can manage task workflows, contact and matter management with reporting, and access built-in payments and e-signature. I've had the honor of building relationships like with Jordan. Jordan, would you tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm one of those 10,000 or so firms that uses PracticePanther. No, it's more than that. We have been using PracticePanther for several years. I run a personal injury firm with my wife in Orlando, Florida. But then I also run a marketing company for lawyers. And so we're going to go through some of the stuff that we've done in PracticePanther with PracticePanther, and then also with other programs or other opportunities so that you can close the best cases and therefore make the most amount of money and live the most wonderful life as an attorney that you possibly can.
Yeah, and it's so amazing to be able to just get your insight on the best practices for law firm marketing, and I'm just excited to get started here. So Jordan, you want to kick us off?
Sure. So we're going to go over 10 tips. They're sort of in chronological order, not exactly, but we're going to go over things like understanding your ideal client, tracking and measuring leads, screening and transitioning clients quickly, and then how to sell without selling. Obviously, I think at the end of the day, that's what all of us want. So the first one that we're talking about is identifying what you need to know about your ideal client. So this is things such as who are they, what do they do, how do they spend their day, etc. This is going to help you with PracticePanther workflows that Nina's going to go over in a little bit, because ultimately the more consistent your clients are, the more consistent their problems are, the more you're going to have a consistent intake flow. And then obviously setting that up in workflows will allow you to get a lot of that stuff done faster, automatically, and consistently. So Nina, take us away.
Yeah, so Jordan pointed out that consistency is key. You should be putting your potential clients through a set formula so you're not having to recreate the wheel each time. So you might have different processes based on the different practice areas, or maybe by court, but you can really set tasks to run themselves with workflows in PracticePanther, which is one of our most popular features across all practice areas. The workflow feature allows you to automate the creation of tasks and events on your calendar, pre-assign who in the firm is responsible for what, and preset reminders in the form of a text or an email or even a pop-up in the system. So imagine you get 20 cases a month that have the same intro steps going into them. Rather than starting each case from scratch, you could preset exactly what needs to be done by who and let the software automate everything else. So a good way you can use this is to set up email drip campaigns, which is a great way to nurture your leads and to stay in touch to get on a call with you. So you can set a workflow to remind yourself to send an introductory email, then create a task for you to follow up in a week or in 2 weeks, et cetera, and really standardize processes in your firm.
I love that. So now that we have the person being relatively consistent and we've got their consistent intake, let's talk about that next step of understanding them. So not just who they are, but how do they speak? What's their real problem? And how do they speak? By that, I mean, like, there's going to be industry jargon that they're used to. Are they going to know what a consultation is versus a strategy session versus a client meeting? What's their actual problem? Sure, they may have been hit by a car, but that's not really their problem. Their problem might be getting back to where their life was beforehand, something along those lines. That'll help you figure out what they really need from you and why they would want to hire you. There's 1.3 million attorneys across 400,000 law firms. You better be their number one for them to hire you. So why is that? Some other things to consider the more that you dive into this is what other problems are they going to have? Your PI clients, Do they need a new car? Maybe it's helpful to partner up with a car broker or a local mechanic or something along those lines. For criminal law, unfortunately, a lot of people need some sort of treatment program, whether it's anger management or drug treatment. So being able to automate giving them some of this other information that won't necessarily be directly related to your law firm, but are those ancillary or tertiary things that deal with it, will help you really understand that intake process and might be the easiest way for you to explain why you're better, because you're connecting them with all these other professionals and you're giving this truly holistic approach to their intake. And with that, you can go over to the next slide. And now that we know who we are, we're talking about where are they. So right here, look, I'm not talking just about social media, even though we've got that. We're talking about where your clients are right now and where they're going to be. Like, where are they going to go when they need an attorney? Are they already on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest? I don't care what it is. Are they going to find an attorney there, or are they going to go to Google? Are they going to talk to a local expert? Are they going to go to some other professional? Are they going to go to their parents or a teacher or something along those lines? So you have to know what they're going to do when they need your services, or you're going to have to know where they already are so you can explain to them why they need your services. So for, business law that's proactive, for IP, things like that, they may not know that they need you, but they do. And then you need to put your ads where they are. For criminal law, for personal injury, for reactive law, they're going to not need an attorney until the moment that they do. And then how are they going to go? So you need to be that resource for them to go to, and for other professionals that your clients are going to go to. And by that, I mean the big one, estate planning attorneys with financial advisors. This is probably the strongest referral partnership across any legal profession, because you have the exact same clients who have the exact same needs. They want their money protected. They want to be able to retire, but also think about, real estate, going to a realtor, going to a mortgage broker, going to some title agent. Victims of car crash might be searching for a lawyer ASAP. So the more you know that client, the more you can think about where they already are, and the more you can think about what they're going to do to find you. And then next tip, you have to track your leads. Track your leads, track your leads, track your leads. If you're not tracking your leads, you have no idea what's working. You have no idea what's a total waste of money, and you have no idea what needs to be tweaked. So where did these leads come from? I don't care if you're 100% referral based, still track who they're coming from. If you're 100% social media based, track which ads they're coming, or which posts they're coming from. If it's ads, track which ads. You can do this in an Excel spreadsheet. You can do this with CallRail, where you track the phone number that they're calling. You put a different phone number on every page. You can track it with UTM codes, where you put a UTM code on all the different pages or all the different posts, and that way Google Analytics knows where they're coming from. You can do it in a full CRM, like Lawmatics or something along those lines, and you can do it in PracticePanther. So we're going to talk about how you can use tags in PracticePanther if you've got nothing else, or if you want to use something much better than just an Excel spreadsheet, because you'll get the reporting. And Nina's going to dive into how you use those tags and reporting in PracticePanther.
And I just want to say, you can't improve what you don't measure, and you can't measure what you don't track, right? So how can you do this easily? Well, we have a tagging ability in PracticePanther, and there's really no wrong way to use them. You can think of tags as custom categories you can assign on a contact or matter, or even on activities. So you can create tags for different marketing campaigns that your firm may be running and see, did they come through social media pages or social ads? Did they come from Google reviews, or someone in your network, or from an event? This is a great way to track ROI on marketing efforts directly on PracticePanther, where you just keep everything else. You could even tag contacts and matters by practice area, region, or even by courthouses if you wanted to get really nitty-gritty in it. So the real beauty of consistently using tags is that you'll then be able to create a custom report in PracticePanther and really dive into that data. You can run a report and determine which marketing campaigns or referral partners gave you the most leads, and put more of your resources or focus there. If you want to get even more detailed, you can even tag your referred leads by if they became a client or not, and attribute which of your referral partners give you the most qualified leads. So the level of detail you want to extract out of the platform is up to you. It's just fully customizable and flexible to fit your firm.
That's a great point, Nina. Before we go to that one, I want to talk about, so I want to break that down for a second. So really, I think you want 3 tags for all of your leads. You want the overarching how, so referrals, Google ads, Facebook, whatever it is. You want the who or the what, so which post, which ad set, which person, and then you want hired and not hired. And then this way in that reporting, you can find out which ads send you a bunch of leads that don't hire, which one sends you fewer leads but they do hire, which people refer you the best clients. So those 3 tags will allow you to cross-reference in these reports really well, that being the biggest thing
I love
that you
that.
can do with those tags. So now proactively tell the client what they need to know. So they have found you by the right marketing, they're in your system. So now what do? You've got that workflow, or if you're using a full CRM, you've got some sort of automated drip campaign. So think about why they should hire a lawyer, how that helps, share social proof, share great reviews you got for cases as close to theirs as possible. If you've got multiple practice areas, weed out different email drip campaigns. So if they call you for the car accident, somebody raves about how great you were in a car accident, as opposed to raving about how great you were for their kid who got arrested. That's not going to be consistent with what the client's need is. Talk about why they need the attorney, talk about why your firm is great, and talk about why it should be you. So now you've already got them primed to want to hire you. Then make the consult scheduling easy. Please answer your phone, call people back, let people do an automatic booking, make it super easy. And then talk about what sort of intake form you can put together so you have the most information going into that consultation. If you are a personal injury attorney, on that intake form and you know where their accident took place, you already know if they went to the hospital or not, you already know some of their insurance information, you can be so much better in that consult than if you're going in totally blind. And especially for estate planning attorneys, if you know that they've got kids versus not having kids, they've got property, they've got a pension, they've got whatever, you can come into that consult already knowledgeable and wow them with your information based off of them filling out some information on a consistent intake form. Then our next one, we're talking about screening leads quickly. So with this intake form, you should be confirming they are great clients for you and letting them know that, or if they're not, getting them to somebody who can help them ASAP. I cannot tell you the number of people that have become referral sources or become future clients who never hired us for their first need. They weren't in our geographic area, but we got them to somebody who was. It wasn't something we did, but we got them to another great lawyer or another great professional. It was someone who couldn't afford us, but we got them to legal aid. And from that, they will remember you. They will be appreciative of that. And also, selfishly, you won't waste so much time doing an hour consultation on a case that you're never going to take. If you can get that screened quickly and get them to somebody else who can help, you're saving yourself time, you're saving the potential client time, and you're building a great rapport with them. So let's say they make it through that screening process. Now we go into the next tip. Please, 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 please make it smooth. How many of you have been to the doctor's office? I won't ask for a show of hands recently. And you make that phone call and they're like, hey, we need your insurance information. And you pull out your insurance card and you give them all the information. And then you show up at the assigned time that they told you, and they make you fill out a form with your insurance information that you already gave them. Isn't it annoying? I've had it not happen that way once at the doctor's office, and I am a lifelong person for that doctor now because they're the first one who's had it. Your clients feel the same way. They call you, they get an answering service, you're a receptionist, and they get the story. Save this information, put together these custom documents, save this as custom fields in PracticePanther. Nina's going to go into that in a little bit. Don't make them repeat it to your intake person. Don't make them repeat it to the paralegal. Don't make them repeat it to the lawyer. Have it in a way where if there is new information, you can override it or you can change it, but don't make them go through that same story over and over again if they don't want to. If they do want to rehash it, then please listen actively, ask the right questions, get the right information, but don't force them to have to retell the same story 4 times, especially for those of us that practice areas of law that can be kind of stressful, emotionally motivated. Somebody having on a family law case, having to explain about how they walked on their spouse cheating them with 6 different people at your office may not be the best way to go over. So what documents, what info, what data points do you consistently need to get from those clients that you can put into a custom document or an intake form? And then what information do you need to get out to them at that stage? What do they need to know, not to book a consult, but to have a good consult? Think about that smooth transition into that consultation process. And now Nina's going to go into more detail about how you create some custom document templates to make this as smooth and seamless as possible.
So in PracticePanther, you can actually create merge fields for custom fields that you want to collect information on, but there's already fields pre-populated in PracticePanther, and you basically just input them into your document and upload your document into the system. So then the template will pull the information from the contact's profile and matter automatically, and creating a customized document then just takes a couple of clicks. So this does not just make the experience consistent and smooth for all of your clients, but it also frees up time for your team. So they're not having to mess around with Word documents and PDFs and getting that story all over again. Once templates are set up, it's available at any time to them.
So sell without selling. Look, from the minute they hire your firm, or I shouldn't say that, from the minute they contact your firm, whether that's submitting it online, whether that's the first person who answers the phone, they are a potential client and you are selling them on the experience they will have with your firm. If your website is broken and they can't submit the contact form, if the person answering the phone isn't in the best mood, you're immediately getting a strike or you're immediately raising a red flag. So listen to your clients as they go through this process, and afterwards, listen to what they have to say, listen to their feedback. If you get one client who complains about something, relax. You know, you've got 100 clients, you've got 1,000 clients, one of them having a problem, it's probably not you. If 3 clients complain about different things, it's probably okay. But if you get 5 clients, 10 clients, 15 clients with the same complaint, with the same issue, that's when you start making these changes. So right off the bat, though, clients want to know they made the right call to reach out, you can help them, and this is how you start that. They sign their invoice, they pay their retainer, they pay the invoice, whatever it is along those lines. The other thing that I have found clients love is walking the very fine line between everybody being their own special unicorn and the fact that you've handled 5,000 cases that are almost verbatim 100% the same. So I think the way that you walk that line is you tell stories. So as they're going into the consult, you have people say things like, oh, this is awesome. You know, Mr. Ostroff just handled a case like this last week, or I usually have my office use my first name. So Jordan had a case like this last week. We're able to get full policy limits. It was awesome. You know, and then as you're after the consult in these email drips, think about those same things. You've got enough information to know about their case. If it's a slip and fall versus a car accident, if it's a will versus a trust, if it's a dependency case versus a divorce versus an alimony case, you can share stories to the extent you ethically can with them about how you've handled similar cases and how you made a difference, how you, the lawyer, how you, the firm, made a difference. You were the second attorney and the first one missed this giant document. You sent your investigator out to the scene and they were able to recover some sort of key piece of evidence. Things like that that are unique are going to stay in their mind, and you're going to help people psychologically convince themselves that you are the right fit, that you are the way to go, that they need to spend the money on you, that you need to be their attorney, that you are the best option for them. And then also, while you're going through this process, let them know what else you can do, especially if you're turning down their case for some reason. You know, I've talked to people that will do only ERISA cases when it comes to medical issues, or they'll do non-ERISA cases. I don't even know the difference. They've had to explain to me, I'm a lawyer. But if you're, you know, if you're that nichey, talk to them about what you do. You know, hey, look, we couldn't help you with this family law case because we only represent fathers. We couldn't help you with this because we do a different area of law. We couldn't help you with this because you're in the wrong area of town, or I shouldn't say the wrong area of town, the wrong geographic area. And then explain to them what you do, because they might still enjoy you. They might still think about you. I got a referral from a client, well, not a client, from somebody. I moved my parking spot at the courthouse for them like 4 years ago so they could get into a better spot because their car was larger than mine. And they left me a review that day about how nice it was. We had a quick chat, and whatever it was, 4 years later, they reached out to me. Their neighbor had a case, and it wasn't even something I could help with, but I got them to another attorney who had a great resolution. And now hopefully those people would think of me for anything that we do. Why? Because we had a consistent process, because we listened, because we cared, because we sold them on how great we are without trying to sell them, without being a used car salesman. And so with the next one, Nina's going to talk about the client portal, because the biggest thing for you to get a smooth client experience is them having this information ASAP, or them being able to get it without having to ask you, get it proactively. So if you're not able to send them proactive emails or give them updates ASAP, I love the ability to use the PracticePanther client portal so they can log in and see how things are going. This is obviously designed for during the case, but also think if it's something during the intake process. Potentially, you're researching an issue on their case. You can put a couple of check marks for them to look in on the portal that you're waiting on the insurance information, that you're waiting on the, looking up a statute, that you're trying to double check a contract, something along those lines. So Nina, take us away with the amazing client portal that we've got.
Yeah, sure, Jordan. That story about that parking spot it's so crazy how that worked out. Seriously, 4 years later, he still remembered you. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it was like flat out, because the funny part was they sent me a whole email that was like, hey, here's the review I left for you that day. And I was like,
oh my
look,
God.
I gotta be honest, I remember this because nobody else ever wrote me a review when I moved my car. So like,
yeah.
you set yourself, you stayed in my mind. So thank you.
That's so lucky. And what people remember really is how you make them feel, right? So your prospects will remember how you made them feel throughout their initial interactions with you. And I feel like that parking spot example is perfect for this. So, I mean, when they're interacting with you before they even hire you, they take that as an indicator of what it will be like if they do work with you. So that's why it's important to continue making that client experience enjoyable afterwards. And maybe they'll be a great reference later on. A really great way to level up this working relationship for both yourself and your client is to use a client portal. It's a one-stop shop for all things related to their case, and clients can log in and access invoices, meeting information, documents, and messages all in one spot. So that really helps avoid communication mishaps that can happen from random emails here and there and lost files and documents and all these email threads. It's a more cohesive and up-to-date experience for your client. And it also shows that you value their security and the privacy of their information. And you can really tie it all together with your logo and your branding and customize this experience for them to leave that lasting impression.
So we've gotten through the intake process. We've gotten through the communication. We've gotten through the consult. The client wants to hire you. Please, please, e-signature, e-payment, please. I cannot stress this enough. We've been through COVID, unfortunately, for 18 months now or so. If you cannot take e-signature and somebody needs to come to your office, especially if there's somebody who was at high risk for COVID, who has it, you're going to make it really difficult on them. You're going to make it really difficult on you all. If you have a situation where you got to close your office and no one's going to be there, e-signature is super helpful. Nina is going to go into how you can do these things on PracticePanther. But before that, the only thing I want to add is, and take e-payments, because that's going to be a big thing as well. I know people don't like credit card fees, which we have in here, but you're better off having it with the fee than you are not having it, than waiting on a check, than making sure it clears, then going through that. I cannot stress that enough on the benefit of getting it signed and getting it paid as seamlessly and easy as possible for the client. And so let's talk about how the e-signature platform works in PracticePanther, and also how the Panther payments work. Nina?
Yeah, so the pandemic really emphasized just how tedious it can be to collect paper signatures. And e-signatures really eliminate the back and forth of emailing, printing, and scanning by allowing you to create a digital document for signature. And you can email it out to the signee and allow the recipient to add their signature online, all in one go. We designed our e-sign tool to work within PracticePanther, so you never have to deal with a third-party subscription or have to log in anywhere else. You can keep track of signing status and see who's viewed or still needs to sign, and download signed documents. It's all internal, and you don't have to leave PracticePanther for any of these steps. You can even download an audit trail of all the signature statuses with timestamps if you ever need to access it. A pro tip here is you can also use our built-in payment processor and you'll have access to something called Panther Payments One Link. It basically allows you to generate a hyperlink that you can add anywhere, be it on your website, your email signature, or just in an email, so that your clients can pay on the spot. So say you need to get a contract signed with a new client, you can also add a hyperlink so that your new client can pay and sign all the documents within the same email. And this saves so many steps and the emailing back and forth that we see happen a lot at the beginning of a business relationship. And allowing your clients to pay you online actually gets them to pay faster, and less invoices get lost in the shuffle. We recently released a report and found that our customers who have started to use e-payments on average collected their invoices 20.4% faster than firms who did not use e-payments. And those same firms are increasing their collection rates by 6.7%. We also offer some of the lowest processing fees in the industry at 2.8% for credit cards, no matter the card type, and 1% for e-checks. And we're 100% compliant with the ABA and all 50 state bar associations. So the combination of Panther Payments, One Link, and the brand new e-signature feature will make the operations like client intake extremely fast and efficient, which is really the end goal for all of us, right? So Jordan, I'll let you have tip 10.
Sure. So, and I just want to highlight two things that Nina said. So 2.8% credit card fee, but 6.7% increased fees. So you're making the money up there. Plus, I promise you, any of you that are cutting things relatively close, that 20% faster payment is also super helpful. Why? Because it's really easy. How many times have you all been online? I know I do this all the time. You're on Amazon, something looks cool, you pull your credit card out and pay it right there before you think about it. Well, allow your clients the same opportunity. That would be wonderful along those lines. And so now tip 10, we're kind of cheating on tip 10. This is keeping the great work going. So look, we've gone through, thinking about the client, finding them, getting them on the right ad, giving them the information, the consult, making that smooth. Now you got to keep the great work going. And this isn't necessarily an intake tip, but it will make your life a lot easier going forward. So being smooth on that follow-up, getting them to hire after they hire, integrating into software, PracticePanther and whatnot to give that consistent feedback, to give that consistent client experience, to get things to clients faster. People want to know, immediately they made the right call, they hired you. After that time frame, when people are signed up and you're onboarding them, you have to keep a lot of these things going because people are either going to immediately regret giving you money or want to convince themselves you're awesome. And so by taking these awesome tips that we went through on 1 through 9 and applying that to the onboarding process, to the new client process, to the current client process, and to the alumni client process, you're going to make your life a lot easier. Why? Because that's going to lead to referrals from clients who can explain exactly what it was like working with you. That's going to lead to better reviews online. That's going to lead to more referrals. That's going to lead to more repeat business because nobody is going to be a better potential referral source for you than your clients. Not that they will necessarily be your best referral source, but they have literally been through the process of working with you. The financial advisor to your estate planning attorney, if that financial advisor is not your client, they don't really know what it's like. They probably trust you to be great. They probably have heard great things from the people they sent over, but ultimately that's how you're going to get the best information by people going through the process of being your client because they know what it is like. So convince them they're the right choice by doing great work. And that's all we have. Anything else you want to add, Nina?
Well, we just went through a lot. So I just want to thank everyone for joining our live stream. If you want to get started with PracticePanther or speak with Jordan, you can contact us practicepanther.com/demo or connect with Jordan on LinkedIn. Jordan, do you have any other remarks or calls to action you want to add here?
No, look, there's a ton of people out there who do marketing for law firms. Some of them are good, some of them are not. So I always say, follow me on LinkedIn, see if we might be the right fit, and you can obviously engage with us on our website. We are not right for everybody. Everyone's not right for us. We don't take conflicts. So unfortunately, I've got to pass some people along if we've already got somebody doing what you do in your area. But let's get to know each other and see if, our uniqueness makes sense for you and your firm.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you do have any questions, we'll reach back out to you directly. And thank you so much.